So in my last video, I had a few complaints about the video, which were things like, I love the spreadsheet, simplifying 300 placed horses in a row with no losers. And yes, you will make a profit. Well done. Absolutely zero chance of that method making a profit long term. And I kind of think that the people who are watching it missed the point, but to make amends I've decided to do another video which shows the same thing but from a different angle. It may explain it a little bit better than I did last time, so stay tuned. Oh, and if you watch it to the end, I will actually show you a method that can actually make the points that we need to reach the targets that we want to get to. Okay, let's carry on. Hi, so it's Malcolm here. If you don't know about me, I create software for the betting markets, basically horse racing markets and greyhound markets mainly, and I help people try to make money from trading on sports. So in this video we're going to go over this compounding idea again, but I'm going to take it from a different angle, and hopefully it will explain it a little bit better and show you why I try to show people this idea and how, you know, I think it can be very, very useful to you. So this is my spreadsheet that I use. This is available to people who buy my products basically, and I will put a link in the description where you can get it on its own if you want to. So basically we're going to start with a bank of 100 points or £100 or whatever you think 100 is. And we're going to put a bank percentage of 1%. Now, 1% is generally what I consider a reasonable amount of money against your bank. Some people will probably say, oh, when you're backing or placing or whatever, you can use 5 or 10% of your bank. But I always like to start with 1%, and I'll show you that as well in a moment. We're going to compound 8%, and I'll explain that a little bit more as well, where you actually take a small percentage of your profit and move it onto your next stake. And we're going to have a target percentage of 500%, and again I'll show that in a moment of what that actually means. And as I said, if you stick around to the end, I'll show you a method that could possibly get you to where you need to be. Okay, so let's have a look at the target plan sheet. Okay, so let me explain how the spreadsheet works. So this is our stake. Now £1 could be £10, £5, £2, whatever you decide that is. I like to start with small stakes and then gradually work your way up bit by bit. Okay, we're going for a target of 500%, so that's 5 times your stake. Now, before you shout at me saying, oh, you know, you're not going to make that much money, we'll come to that in a minute. And what we're going to do is when we hit that £5, we're going to take 8% of that stake, and we're going to of that win of those winnings and add it onto our next target. So basically we win 5 times our stake, and then we take some of that money and put it onto our next stake, and we just continually do that all the way down. Now, one thing you probably, if you're any good at calculations, you'll probably see that although we start off with 1% of our bank, gradually we will erode that slightly as we go further and further along. I choose 8%. Some people choose 10, or some people choose more, but you can choose less as well. Now, let's imagine for the moment that each of these targets, instead of being a day or a week, are actually a month. Now, straight away, people will be going, oh yeah, you know, 12, 24 months to get to any decent amount of money. Yes, it doesn't sound great, but I bet you a lot of people listening to this video have been doing this for years, and many of you still not making a consistent amount of money every month. And what I believe is that if we can take away the time issue and instead just plan going forward, then we can hit these kind of targets. So let me just show you. Let's change this to months. Okay, just to make it a little bit more readable. Okay, and we'll just go down there. So we start off with £1 stakes, and for the whole month all we've got to try and do is make £5. Okay, so that could be finding the odd 5-to-1 winner over a period of month, chipping away using trading. So you're using tick trading or something like that, gradually building your stake up over a month. It could be something to do with football. I tend to use the place market a lot, or I trade. That's what I tend to do, and a lot of my followers or a lot of people who read my emails do the same thing. We have a number of tools that allow us to find reasonably good place runners every day, and I'll show you a link to one of those methods at the end of the video. So yeah, it's not a lot of money, but gradually you're learning your trade, and some of you watching this might already be able to make 5 points a month. I don't know, but what you're going to do is gradually learn your trade, gradually find ways to find that 5 points. Now, again, you know, if you're watching this, you'll probably get, some of you might be going, well, I can make 5 points easy, or you know, you could make that in a week, or you should be able to make that in a week, and you could do that weekly. Yes, you could, there are all those things. But what I'm trying to get across is that, you know, you don't need to make huge amounts of profit to gradually build up. And this is the kind of thing that all the big traders out there did. They didn't start off with, you know, trading with thousands or tens of thousands of pounds. They started trading very small amounts, gradually learnt their skills, and moved up. I mean, in our Facebook group, we have people, I'll put a link to the Facebook group as well. We have people that, you know, every day make 20 or 30 pounds because they just want to top up their pension or something like that. Now, I'm not saying for one moment that gambling is a good way of topping up your pension. Don't get me wrong. I'm not implying that. But I do have people in my Facebook group or on the Discord called server that do this kind of thing. But gradually, you know, gradually over time, they've gradually built their stakes up so that they can make more and more money every day. Now, yes, it's 12 months to get to doing, you know, £40 a month, or sorry, £40 a stake, £200 a month. Yeah, that seems a long time, but really 12 to 24 months in the scale of things is nothing. And obviously you might be able to do better than that. I mean, the way I look at it, when I said before, is I go to targets, and if we go back to targets, is that, you know, you might make that £5 in a week. It might take you 2 months instead of 1 month, but we're trying to, you know, gradually get to that target. When we reach that target, then we can go, right, we're add on, and so you might be able to do several of these over 1 month, and so that becomes 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, something like that, you know. So there are different ways of doing it, but the point is that, you know, you're not having to make huge amounts of money. And that's what I was trying to get across in the last video was, yeah, you know, you needed to hit those targets, and you wouldn't be able to hit them all the time, but you kind of chip away at it and gradually build it up. And so in this particular case, all we're looking to do is make 5 times our stake over a month. Now, that might be difficult for some people, so you do it over 2 or 3 months, but you gradually build up, you gradually get better at finding selections. And so your whole target now is not so much that you're trying to make, you know, loads of points every day. Your target is 5 points in 1 month, and then chip away at that all month. Like, find a place selection, find a football match, find a tennis match, or, you know, I don't know much about football. I know a little bit about tennis, but really my whole thing is horse racing or greyhounds. Find a few selections on greyhounds, or find place selections on horse racing, or find a winner. I mean, we have several tipsters who are always giving us winners every week, and we have, as I said, we have our place systems. So that's what I was trying to get at before. So hopefully it is a little bit clearer that, you know, we're not looking for large amounts of money. We're just trying to chip away at it every month, and gradually we build up those stakes as you go. I mean, these numbers get stupid to a certain degree that, you know, they're no longer sensible in a lot of ways unless you're really good on big football matches, and you know you need to chip away at those or whatever. But really, you know, most people would be probably satisfied around somewhere between here and here. And so, you know, you're not even talking about 2 years of chipping away, getting those 5 points a month, and then gradually increasing your stakes as you go along. Okay, so hopefully that's made it a bit clear. As always, you know, I don't mind your comments. It's great to hear what people feel about the videos that I do. And and how they might be useful or how they may not be. But that's the idea that I try and get across. Now, as I said, there's lots of ways you can do this. This is just one idea, but it's showing, as I said before, it's showing you that you don't need lots and lots of profit to gradually increase your stakes and make lots of profit. Okay, so let's go to that method that I was telling you about. So this is a trial I did at the end of last year, and there was a 73 results from the place selection test. Now I've done further tests since then, and I'm about to release some information about the next one I've done. But basically we were just taking, and I'll put a link to this obviously in the description as well, we were just taking these particular runners from what we call the pass method. And basically the pass method, it just takes 2 filters and then uses those to find place selections every day. And over the course of a month, I'll show you, we had about 73 selections. I was trading between 1.10 and 1.99, and as you can see, I was only putting 30p stakes on. Okay, so that was the profit from 33. So it's £3.49, and if you split £3.49 by the amount of selections, by 30 pence, sorry, that will give you, as you see there, that will give you a profit of 11.62 points. Now that was using all the selections. If we go to 1.10 to 1.15, then we were a little bit less, but we still made a reasonable amount of profit, and we made about 7.58 points when we went from 1.5 to 1.9. Now I've recently just, as I said, finished another test, 1.5 to 1.99, and it came out at about 4.47, so it wasn't quite 5 points. That was based on 2% commission, which is what most people are paying on Betfair nowadays. Probably you're going to have to pay a bit more in the end, but 5 points. So I was close, and that, as I said, was taking 1.5 to 1.99, and I've set up 2 new tests to see if I can do better than that as well. And this was all done automated in the Grey Horse bot, so which is another tool that I created. So overall, you know, it wasn't exactly 5 points, but it wouldn't have been far from it. And that was just basically placing automatic selections every day based on a criteria. And so, you know, it is possible to do 5 points a month. And there are loads of other ways you can do this, obviously. And if you join my emails, you'll hear about different ways all the time. Okay, so that's the system. If you want to go to this page, I said I'd leave a link so you can find out more about it, and see how this would possibly work out. And hopefully that will give you something to go on anyway. And then if you've got any questions, you know where I am. And I'll be grateful. I'll be glad to help. Now the question is, are you going to subscribe today because you like what you've seen? If so, please do. Please give us the thumbs up. I really keep trying to do these videos more often, but one thing after another. I spend a lot of time updating software, helping people out, talking to people on Discord and Facebook, answering all the emails, so I don't often get a lot of time to record videos as well, but I am trying. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.